We're going to be a few minutes. Jim's not here. Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Can you get this? Now.
That would be hilarious if somebody had a mic. All right, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. Please call the roll.
Mayor Delaquila,
Here.
Director of Law Pignatello, Director of Finance Herwick, here. Councilman at Large Bicker,
Here.
Councilman at Large Kranek,
Here.
Councilman at Large Traffus,
Here.
Ward 1 Councilman Biassiata,
Here.
Ward 2 Councilman Frondorf, Ward 3 Councilman Kukrow,
Here.
Ward 4 Councilman Petro,
Here.
Director of Public Service and Properties Levis,
Here.
Building Commissioner Patardi.
Here. Okay, we're gonna wait just for one moment while Councilman Freundorf retrieves something he left in the caucus room. No problem. Good to know. Okay, we're going to begin with the reading and disposal of the journal, starting with the minutes of the regular council meeting held December 12th, 2016.
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Frondor.
Having read the minutes of the regular council meeting held December 12th, 2016, I find no errors or omissions, and therefore I move that they be approved as printed.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata,
Yes.
Frondor,
Yes.
Kranek,
Yes.
Kukrow,
Yes.
Petro,
Yes.
Traffus,
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Minutes of the regular council meeting held December 12, 2016 have been approved. We'll continue with the minutes of the public hearing held May 22nd, 2017.
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Frondor.
Again, having read the minutes of the public hearing held May 22nd, 2017. I find no errors or omissions, and I move that they be approved as printed.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Minutes of the public hearing held May 22, 2017 have been approved. There have been no submissions for the July 10th, 2017 consent agenda. Are there any resolutions of commendation?
There are none.
Reports of committees. The Planning, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee last met on June 19th. Those meeting minutes are filed with the clerk, and our next meeting will be held on July 17th. Public Works Committee, Councilman Petro.
Mr. Chairman, we had a meeting on July 5th, and the minutes are on file with the clerk.
Thank you. Community Services Committee, Councilman Bicker.
Mr. President, we met July 5th. Our next meeting is September 4th. Minutes are on file with the clerk.
Thank you. Police and Safety, Councilman Kranek.
Yes, Mr. President, the next meeting of Police, Safety, and Fire will be on July 17th, and minutes from the previous meeting are on their way to the clerk.
Thank you, Councilman. Parks and Recreation, Councilman Kukrow.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our next meeting is Monday, July 17th at 6 p.m. and the previous meeting minutes are forthcoming.
Thank you. Rules, Ordinances, and Ethics, Councilman Biassiata.
Thank you, Mr. President. Our last meeting was July 5th. Minutes for that meeting are on file. Our next meeting will be August 7th.
Thank you. We have,
September 4th is the next meeting.
thank you. Definitely don't want to meet in August.
Hopefully not. Thank you. Sorry.
That's fine. Good luck. Finance, Civil Service, and Personnel, Councilman Frondor.
Yes, our last meeting was held on July 5th. I left prior to the end of the meeting, so I don't know who conducted the Finance Committee. So I don't know the status of the minutes, but the next meeting will be held on July 24th.
The Finance Committee meeting was postponed due to lack of quorum, and we'll continue with the committee next week. Great. Are there any appointments and confirmations?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would like to nominate Mr. Jeff Bazo to fill the currently vacant seat on the city's Planning Commission.
Thank you. We do have a vacancy on our Planning Commission, and Mr. Bazo has been recommended and interviewed before the mayor and city council, and I believe you are an engineer, which is certainly needed for the Planning Commission. And with that, I'm going to make a motion to nominate and confirm Jeff Bazo to our Planning Commission.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Frondor?
I will be voting no, not because, Jeff, I have any reservation about your qualifications. I just, until today, I hadn't seen your resume. I hadn't spoken to anyone about it. And I don't want to be accused of voting for things that I'm unfamiliar with or not schooled in. So I just want to reiterate, it's nothing personal.
Could I make a suggestion? Perhaps you abstain?
I don't
Councilman?
know, can I abstain? That's the law department.
Yeah, you can.
Will I get in trouble? Will there be video? I'll abstain then.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Jeff Bazo has been appointed to fill the vacant seat on our Planning Commission. Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for your service to the city, your upcoming service to the city. Are there any communications, petitions, and claims?
None for tonight.
Council will now be open to the audience on legislation only. If you have any comments regarding anything on our agenda, please approach the podium and state your name and address. Okay, we're now moving on to ordinances and resolutions. Amended ordinance number 75, 2017. Councilman Biassiata.
Yes, Mr. President. I motion that we amend ordinance. I motion I move that we read amended ordinance 75-2017 for its second and final reading
By title only.
by title only.
Councilman Bicker,
I second the motion.
is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 75, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacola and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a 3-year service agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with Fit Technologies of Cleveland, Ohio, to provide network as a service solution, which includes but is not limited to network infrastructure installation and ongoing administration at the city of Seven Hills City Hall, appropriating an amount that shall not exceed $4,584 annually for said service and declaring an emergency.
Amended ordinance number 75, 2017 has been read for its second and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Biassiata.
I move that we pass amended ordinance number 75-2017.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
No.
Frondor.
No.
Kranek.
No.
Kukrow.
No.
Petro.
No.
Traffus.
No.
Bicker.
No.
Amended ordinance number 75, 2017 has been defeated. We'll now move on to amended ordinance number 76, 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads ordinance 76, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 76, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacola and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a 3-year agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with Fit Technology of Cleveland, Ohio, to provide server as a service for the city of Seven Hills that will host the following functions: Active Directory, DHCP, DNS, print services, file shares, database server, and application server, which will include but is not limited to server hardware installation and ongoing administration, appropriating an amount that shall not exceed $1,880 monthly for said service and declaring an emergency.
Amended ordinance number 76, 2017 has been read for its second and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council passes ordinance 76, 2017.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
No.
Frondor.
No.
Kranek.
No.
Kukrow.
No.
Petro.
No.
Traffus.
No.
Bicker.
No.
Amended ordinance number 76, 2007 has been defeated. We'll now move on to amended ordinance number 77, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kukrow.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read amended ordinance number 77, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Amended ordinance number 77, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacola and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with Fit Technologies of Cleveland, Ohio, to assist in transition migration of the city's email service to Microsoft Office 365 Exchange Online for 40 mailboxes in an amount not to exceed $18,696. Additionally, authorizing an amount not to exceed $17 per user per month for said service and declaring an emergency.
Amended ordinance number 77, 2017 has been read for its second and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Kukrow.
I move that we pass amended ordinance number 77, 2017.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
No.
Frondor.
No.
Kranek.
No.
Kukrow.
No.
Petro.
No.
Traffus.
No.
Bicker.
No.
Amended ordinance number 77, 2017 has been defeated. We will now have the second reading of ordinance number 89, 2017.
Ordinance number 89, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with the treasurer of state of Ohio for the purpose of performing a financial statement audit for the fiscal year 2016 and appropriating a sum not to exceed $25,000 for said service.
Ordinance number 89, 2017 has been read for its second reading. We will now move on to ordinance number 91, 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads ordinance 91, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance 91, 2017, introduced by councilpersons Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Specialized Construction Incorporated of Cuyahoga Heights, Ohio, appropriating an amount not to exceed $89,275 for the 2017 street crack sealing program and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 91, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council passes ordinance 91. 91, 2017.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 91, 2017 has been passed. Moving on to ordinance number 92, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kranek.
I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance number 92, 2017 by removing the emergency clause.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 92, 2017 has been amended to remove the emergency clause, and we will now have the first reading of ordinance number 92, 2017.
Amended ordinance number 92, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a 3-year agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with Fit Technologies of Cleveland, Ohio, to provide network as a service solution, service as a service, and Microsoft Office 365 migration, which includes but is not limited to network infrastructure installation and ongoing administration at the city of Seven Hills City Hall, appropriating an amount that shall not exceed $124,038 for said service, $35,304 annually for 3 years, and a one-time charge of $18,126.
Ordinance number 92, 2017 has been read for its first reading. We'll now move on to ordinance number 93, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Biassiata.
I move that we amend ordinance number 93-2017 by removing the emergency clause.
Councilman
Second the
Petro.
motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 93, 2017 has been amended to remove the emergency clause, and we will now have the first reading of ordinance number 93, 2017.
Amended ordinance number 93, 2017, introduced by Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance to amend ordinance number 96, 2016, passed by council on August 23, 2016, which authorized and directed the mayor to enter into a 1-year comprehensive managed service agreement with Fit Technologies of Cleveland, Ohio, to provide comprehensive managed services in support of the City of Seven Hills computers in all departments and appropriated the sum not to exceed $44,814 for said services and support by adding and supplementing Addendum B, backup as a service agreement, reducing the monthly service fee by $100 a month relating to migration of email environment to Office 365.
Ordinance number 93, 2017 has been read for its first reading. We'll now move on to ordinance number 94, 2017.
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Frondor.
I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads ordinance number 94, 2017 by title only for its first and final reading and declaring an emergency.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, briefly.
Mayor Delacuilla.
Thank you. As you know, I must recuse from consideration of both ordinances 94 and 95, 2017. Please let the record reflect that I will be leaving the dais while they're under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Delacuilla. Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Ordinance number 94, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with the Shelley Company of Twinsburg, Ohio, appropriating an amount not to exceed $2,100,763.08 for the 2017 concrete pavement rehabilitation and asphalt overlay program in the city of Seven Hills and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 94, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Frondor.
This has been a long time in coming, and I'm just very, very happy to be able to say I move that we pass ordinance number 94, 2017.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Ordinance number 94, 2017 has passed. Moving on to ordinance number 95, 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman
I
Petro.
move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads ordinance 95, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
I will second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Ordinance number 95, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Chagrin Valley Paving Incorporated of Chagrin Falls, Ohio, appropriating an amount not to exceed $512,209.44 for the 2017 asphalt pavement rehabilitation and asphalt overlay program in the city of Seven Hills and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 95, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council passes ordinance 95, 2017.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Ordinance number 95, 2017 has been passed. If somebody would please invite the mayor back to the dais, please. Mr. Collins, would you get him? Moving on to ordinance number 96, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Bicker.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 96-2017 by title only for its final reading.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes,
Ordinance number 96, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and Councilman Traffus, Frondorf, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a program agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio with Healthy Contributions LLC, who will provide payment processing services in order to participate in the Optima Fitness Passport Program and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 96, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Bicker.
I move that we pass ordinance 96-2017.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 96, 2017 has passed. Moving on to ordinance number 97, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kranek.
move that we suspend the rules under charter and read ordinance number 97, 2017 by title only.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker. Ordinance number 97, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and Councilman Traffus, Frondorf, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a fitness passport service agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Optum Health Care Solutions, LLC, in order to provide services to support the fitness passport program to customers of Optum and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance number 97, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Kranek.
I move that we pass ordinance number 97, 2017.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Ordinance number 97, 2017 has passed. Moving on to amended resolution number 32, 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads amended resolution 32, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Amended resolution number 32, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. A resolution approving the proposed alternative tax budget for the city of Seven Hills, Ohio for the fiscal year 2018 and declaring an emergency.
Amended resolution number 32, 2017 has been read for its second and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Petro.
I move that council adopts resolution, amended resolution 32, 2017.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Amended resolution number 32, 2017 has been adopted. We'll now move on to resolution number 33, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Kukrow.
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read resolution number 33, 2017 by title only for its final reading.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Resolution number 33, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delaquila and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. A resolution approving and accepting a temporary utility easement granted to the city of Seven Hills, Ohio by Samantha J. and Michael Groves for the installation, construction, and maintenance of utilities together with all appurtenances on permanent parcel number 552-06-059, 2053 Cherry Lane, appropriating the sum not to exceed $1,310 for the acquisition of said easement and declaring an emergency.
Resolution number 33, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Kukrow.
I move that we adopt resolution number 33, 2017.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Resolution number 33, 2017 has been adopted. Moving on to resolution number 34, 2017.
Mr. President,
Councilman Biassiata.
I move that council suspends the rules under charter and reads Resolution 34-2017 for its first and final reading by title only.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Resolution number 34, 2017, introduced by Mayor Delacuilla and Councilman Traffus, Frondor, Bicker, Kranek, Biassiata, Kukrow, and Petro. A resolution approving and accepting a permanent utility easement granted to the city of Seven Hills, Ohio by Myron Wren and Helen M. Slipik for the installation, construction, and maintenance of utilities together with all appurtenances on permanent parcel number 552-10-048, 2651 North Mary Lane, appropriating this sum not to exceed $5,000 for the acquisition of said easement and declaring an emergency.
Resolution number 34, 2017 has been read for its first and final reading. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Biassiata.
I move that we adopt Resolution number 34-2017.
I'll second the motion, Mr.
Is
Chairman.
there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
yes,
Resolution number 34, 2017 has been adopted. Council will now be open to the audience. If you have any comments regarding any issue at all, please approach the podium and state your name and address.
Ron Grayheck, 1172 John Glenn Drive. I'm a 50-year resident of Seven Hills and a 60-year carpenter. I've built 90%, the interior of 90% of the supermarkets in the state, in Cleveland and around the state. I've built upscale Heineken stores. I built the Bueller stores. This council is and the mayor are in a dogfight, and the people are getting tired of it. They're using politics to delay this project on Rockside Road. This project on Rockside Road has already cost us $65,000 in useless money. We got nothing out of it. The developer wants to build apartments, upscale apartments, which will be leased out by the Geist Company, who manages millions of dollars in Cleveland and around the country. These apartments are all upscale apartments built with quality design, engineering, and quality materials. Sixty-eight % of the space that the developer has is already leased out, the commercial end of it. And this thing is just dragging on. It'll be 2020 before we receive a dime of this money. Now, the good people of Seven Hills have given you $1.4 million to balance your budget. And if this thing does not get going, just the hotel alone, when they build it, will generate $550,000 in bed tax. And we're getting nothing done. This is the 6th month of this year. The end of the year is coming quick. We'll be into 2018, and nothing is getting done. And the people are getting tired of it. When this money comes up that we gave you to balance your budget, if this thing is not going, you can bet that I will be one out there with a lot of other people to rescind that levy that we gave you. Mr. Kukrow, this Saturday, I went to my grandson's ball game. And at Calvin Park, the coaches had to get rakes and rake the field because there were all kinds of ruts in the field. What's going on with the ballpark? You can't even afford to have the fields prepared for the team to play ball.
Am I allowed to answer?
Yeah. Hey, answer me. What the hell am I here for?
I'll say, Jim, Councilman, that technically, if you want to go by the rules of council and the ordinances that we have to enforce, there's not supposed to be a dialogue. However, if you choose to engage, that's up to you.
I think I'll just take his advice, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you as soon as this meeting's over and tell you exactly what my plans are for the Calvin Park. But I think if you have any specific questions related to how the fields are maintained, you should talk to the administration, because I have nothing to do with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody further?
Ron Chura, 1187 John Glenn Drive. I know that most of you, or maybe all of you, know that last year we had a Seven Hills Neighbors Picnic. It was Say No to Drugs. That was the theme behind it. We're going to have another one next year. Now, in trying to get some funds for the Seven Hills Picnic with the kids, I approached Jeff Grafe, who's been a friend of mine for about a year and a half. Jeff donated some money, and then he volunteered to have a ice cream truck there. I didn't even have to ask him that. And a rig, big truck where the kids were climbing around in it and everything. It had a great time. Like I said, we're going to do it again next year. He also, and everybody knows this, he donated $5,000 for the fireworks this year. As I said before, we're going to do it next year, but what I'd like to see happen is quit putting a developer in the middle of what's been happening. Last week, I'm sorry, I missed the fiasco last week. I'm glad I didn't attend, but both the administration and council seem to be worrying about being reelected in November. I'm not a politician. Jeff's not a politician. I can tell you that, because when I met him, I really thought that my first impression of him was really an upstanding man with a lot of character. I'm usually right on that. Sometimes I'm wrong. But I wish he'd quit playing the games of the politics. I don't like politicians. You know that. I don't like the political answers that you give. If you don't want to answer the question, you sit there and you shrug your shoulders. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody further?
Chris Romano, 1267 East Dartmoor. Been out of the loop a little bit. The apartments are off.
These freestanding luxury apartments are off.
So the original design of the townhouses, I take it back in. I'd like to say that I'm glad on the decision. I'm glad you guys did that. I really appreciate that. I think from the meetings before, there's a lot of heated debates on this. A lot of people didn't want this in our city, and I still feel that way. I think it should be owner-occupied as much as possible. I really appreciate you guys taking this stand and listening to the residents of Seven Hills. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments. Is there anybody further?
Tom Jarris, Crescent Ridge Drive, Seven Hills.
Excuse me, Mr. Jarris. We need your full address, please.
I don't like the idea of giving my address. This is live televised.
Mr. Law Director.
Why does somebody need to know I'm not home?
Mr. Law Director, I'm sorry, but the rules of council are that we require the address.
It is a rule of council, Tom.
Great, and that's one that should be changed. Because anybody watching this can be going to my address or anybody's address here. You guys are worried about your security, you worry about our security. 224 Crescent Ridge. I'll send a burglar to your house. Been a lot of conversation about the proposed apartment amendment on social media. I'm most concerned with the motivation of the city officials, past and present, who early on publicly dismissed the concept of apartments out of hand without having seen the developer's complete presentation. I know some of council has, but not everybody on council even seen the presentation. And council prevented the residents from seeing it. Tax revenue to the city almost doubles with the apartments instead of townhouses. It brings around $150,000 more annually than the townhouses would. Because of the development's remote location, actual impact on neighboring existing homes is minimal. A few residents, myself included, have seen the developer's complete presentation and projections. Guys done? Ohio Sunshine Law says that any whispering at an open meeting presents a violation of Sunshine Law. You guys have been whispering right along. Mr. Pignatello will verify that fact. No whispering at open meetings, no rustling papers that prevent people from hearing what's being said. You're all supposed to be up on Sunshine Law. Council, seemingly most concerned with the loss of votes in November, has prevented residents from viewing the initially scheduled developer presentation. They have chosen to champion the cause of the most vocal opponents of the apartments. I am not aware of a real representative polling of the majority of Seven Hills residents. Nobody's shown us that. Just like it was with the full-time mayor scheme, we're again hearing about lots of emails and phone calls. How many are there this time? No numbers. Yes, we're getting lots of calls. People are stopping me on the street telling me no apartments. What percentage of the almost 12,000 residents have chimed in on this? The development area management and content has become nothing more than a political football, and the overall good of the city has been summarily dismissed in favor of vote getting. I would like to see the factual information that was the basis for the mayor's public statement that the developer is, quote, in trouble. You seen a balance sheet? Did somebody use a collection agency after him, Your Honor? I don't know. It's a very strong and possibly damaging statement about LSB. If I was LSB, I'd be hot. He's got people that want to come in there and rent. Why would they want to rent if the place is failing? And you're indicating it's failing. Mayor apparently believes that an adversarial relationship with the developer will somehow benefit the city. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I cannot believe that the majority of Seven Hills residents share the bigoted and borderline racist opinions that are apparently being accepted by council as typical of the actual majority of Seven Hills residents. You guys are all reading the stuff on Facebook. You know what's being said. You know what words aren't being said. Racist. There's a racist undertone to this whole thing. My understanding is that 50 to 75 people showed up to the caucus meeting last week. I missed it just as well. Heard the mayor's audio. We, Ward 1, had 200 plus residents show up when the John Glenn development was the topic. There's a response. We had to open up here. There wasn't enough space in here. 200 people. And the concerns that they brought up largely ignored. But you get 50 people in, and they're making a big ruckus, and all at once, it's no good. Apartments suck. The politics need to be put aside. The largest property owner in Seven Hills which is LSB, needs to be considered as a partner with a mutual interest in the success of the development area. If he does well, we as a city do well. It was his right to have the hearing that he requested. Council people, before they saw anything, expressed their opinions that it was no good. This is called poisoning the water. And then when people respond with the negative comments that you encouraged, you're not serving your constituents. You're influencing your constituents. And you tried to do the same thing with the full-time mayor scheme, and you got it crammed. Please, represent the people you're supposed to represent. Don't bother trying to structure their thinking. Don't worry about your seat in November. Like Mr. Grayheck said, this thing's sitting. We're getting next to no revenue out of this. Because you guys are playing political games. This is wrong. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody further? Okay, we'll move on to reports and communications from the Mayor and Safety Director, Mayor Delaquila.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I had not had really a report this evening, but I certainly can't let that tirade pass by without having a response. Again, I hope that I'm stating this correctly, and I'll stand corrected if I don't have the facts down exactly right. My understanding is that the developer did not withdraw the request for an amendment. They simply asked for a postponement. Can I ask if that's correct?
They withdrew, if I recall correctly, I don't have it in front of me, but they withdrew the request for the meeting on a couple weeks ago, the 5th, I believe.
Yes. But I don't believe that, I didn't receive any notification that they actually withdrew the request for the amendment. Am I wrong on that?
I don't believe you're wrong.
Thank you. So this is still an open question. What the gentleman who just spoke doesn't understand, or perhaps is ignoring, is that there's a provision in the city ordinances which asks that city officials provide comment about these proposals within 5 days after they're received. And I know I certainly provided some comments. I'm assuming that others on council have done the same thing. That's pursuant to city ordinance. I made the statement that I begin opposed to this project, to apartments. However, I am keeping an open mind. We're far enough down the road that I'm willing to sit in a presentation and listen to what the developer has to say. I don't have a vote in this. However, I am willing to listen to what this developer has to say. The trouble quote has nothing to do with the inside financial information of the developer. I have no way of knowing that. The trouble quote is a reference to the repeated amendments and all this controversy that's going on. I don't think anybody up here is doing this for political reasons. We have to understand the history of where we are at this point and how we got here. For many, many decades, our community drove off commercial development. We used to have a provision in our city charter called the ward clause, which allowed one ward to override the vote in the other three. As a result of the way that was applied, commercial development constantly was driven away for decades. That's why when you drive along Rockside Road, there's an obvious line between Independence and Seven Hills. We have a lot of residential structure, and Independence has hundreds of millions of dollars of commercial development. The trade-off that our residents decided to make, and that we are now paying a premium for, is that we fund city operations by our income taxes and the levies that we pass. We don't have a commercial tax base. Everyone in this room who's a resident is paying higher taxes because we, over these many decades, chose to remain a single-family, owner-occupied bedroom community. Now, at the very last stages of the last possible development in the city of the largest aggregate of land, we're being asked to do a 180-degree turn on all of that, even though our residents have chosen to pay more taxes than they otherwise might, and still accept what they chose not to accept for all these many decades. And I would just say this directly to you, Tom. You don't know me. You don't know my history. You don't know anything about me other than what you see here. And I take offense at the comments with regard to racism. They're beyond the pale, they're insulting, and they're beyond even you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor Delaquila. We'll now move on to the reports from the directors of departments and other officials. We'll begin with the Director of Finance, Sonia Herwick.
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you. Director of Law, Richard Pignatello.
No report this evening.
Director of Public Service and Property, Stuart Levis.
Yes, Mr. President. I'm pleased to see that ordinances 94 and 95 passed this evening to upgrade various concrete and asphalt roads in the city. That'll be a big help to the citizens and the service department, cutting down some of the maintenance costs. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Building Commissioner Richard Vittardi.
No report.
City Engineer Dan Collins.
My report's on file with the clerk.
Thank you. Move on to Council Miscellaneous. Start in the middle today, Councilman Kukrow.
I don't have any.
Councilman Kranek.
No, I'd just like to say, I'm glad to see, I echo what Stuart said, that we're finally going to go ahead on this road program that was passed. I personally don't quite understand how everything got so sidelined, but we're back on track again, and hopefully we can get the things done that we had promised. We got good bids, we saved money on those bids, and I'm really grateful to see it's moving ahead finally.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Bicker.
Yes, I agree with Tom and Stuart. It is very nice to see the street repair getting underway. And also tonight, I'd like to congratulate Jeff on your appointment. I know you do a great job.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Biassiata.
Mr. President, thank you. I'd also like to congratulate Jeff. Is it B-A-S-E-L? B-A-Z-Z-O. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. On Friday, June 30th, we had a significant rain event here in Seven Hills. Several homes in Ward 1 experienced flooding. I visited many of the people, spoke to many, but I may not have got to everyone. So if you've hearing this message and you had any flooding in the city, I encourage you either contact the service department and let them know your address or your representative. If you live in Ward 1, you can call me 216-459-9312. This council is going to a large expenditure on sewers this year, and it'll be beneficial to know where we're experiencing the problem. So we want to help, and the best way to help is to contact your representative or the service department and provide your address and let us know what type of flooding you experience. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Petro.
I have no comments, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Frondor.
Yes, I have a statement that I'd like to read. I was out of town Saturday and Sunday, and had the opportunity to do some reading and reflecting, and I read something this weekend that resonated with me, and I'm partially borrowing that tonight. Wednesday's council caucus meeting is not about why I ran for council and why I've served for 3.5 years. It really disturbs me that things I said on Wednesday sent a message to my friends and supporters that they may not be able to count on me to always do the right thing and maintain decorum with dignity that the residents of Seven Hills deserve. I'm sorry for that. That's not who I am. I'm a husband. My wife Fran and I have been married for 42 years this August. I'm a father of a daughter and a son who we taught to be respectful, and the grandfather of 2 wonderful grandsons. I truly get it that residents of Seven Hills desire and are worthy of councilmen who won't say things that make them feel uncomfortable. However, I am a councilman because there are people in Seven Hills who could afford to feel a little less comfortable. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm passionate and I care deeply about our city. I'm passionate to see us succeed as a community, and my passion comes through when I'm attacked. I've spent hundreds of hours honing our 2017 budget. I've spent countless hours together with our law director, Rich Pignatello, in negotiation with our unions, resulting in contracts in which both the city and unions are mutually satisfied. Our budget is finally and truly balanced without the artificial means of selling city assets or refinancing and elongating our debt. We can finally embark on a $3 million road resurfacing program that has been stalled because of tactics of individuals that will remain nameless. We've made improvements to our parks, and we're not done yet. This year, you'll see a storm and sanitary sewer improvement to the tune of $900,000. And getting back to people feeling uncomfortable, I'm going to promise you this, that the first person that will feel uncomfortable will be the one that lies about the current financial status of our city and the accomplishments of this good council. With apologies to Al Franken. One other thing, what prompted me to write this was I was accused of rolling my eyes at the mayor by a very, very angry resident. And again, this weekend, and even today, I thought, I really need to maybe pay attention a little bit more and do something to control what happens. So what I've decided to do from here on is whenever I speak to people in council, I'll make sure I put on my sunglasses so that no one will see me roll my eyes, and hopefully I won't see any kind of smirk on my face. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. I have a number of items to cover: zoning board of appeals variances and appointments. I'll begin with our TIF committee that I believe is an annual appointment. Is that correct? We discussed this earlier today and I believe last week. As discussed, I'm going to make a motion to confirm and accept the appointment of Stuart Levis as zone manager and Jackie Payton and Susan Oyster as members of the Tax Incentive Review Council, also known as TRIC, if there is no division of the question.
I will second that.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Stuart Levis, Jackie Payton, and Susan Oyster have been appointed to the Tax Incentive Review Council. I have 4 variance requests. I'm not going to discuss each one of them. We already have. I'm just going to go forward with making the motions. So I'm going to make a motion to grant a variance to Robert Madsen of 7475 Broadview Road, a 9-foot variance to ordinance number 171.10D to allow the installation of a new ground sign to be 16 feet off the back of the curb. Somebody second that?
A second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Variance has been granted. I'm going to make a motion to grant a variance to Fred Schuster of 127 Mapleview Drive, a 3-foot variance to ordinance number 1106.02C to allow the replacement of an existing cement walkway to be 2 feet off the side yard lot line. Could I have a second to that?
A second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Variance has been granted. Now I'm going to make a motion to grant John Stulak of 1225 Justo Lane a 4-foot variance to ordinance number 1106.02C to allow the installation of a driveway extension on the side of the garage to be 1 foot off of the side yard property line.
I will second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Variance has been granted. And finally, I will make a motion to grant a variance to Richard Cooper, 4631 Shelley Drive. Actually, two variances, a 2 foot 1 inch variance to ordinance number 1106.02C to allow the widening of an existing cement driveway that will be 2 feet 11 inches off the side yard lot line, and a 4 foot 1 inch variance to allow the installation of a 12 by 6 by 33 cement pad on the side of the garage that will be 11 feet off the side yard property line.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
That variance has been granted. Finally, I just wanted to say that I am extremely happy about a few things on our agenda this evening that passed. But before I do, and the first two are in regards to our road resurfacing program. Back on January 25th, 2017, our law director issued an opinion that it would be okay for the mayor and myself and Councilman Frondorf to participate in this program. There were questions about his opinion, and the city went to the Ohio Ethics Commission to get a informal opinion, an advisory opinion from them. Very pleased to say that that opinion was received by the city a few days ago, and they came back and said there are absolutely no problems whatsoever with us participating, with the councilman participating in this program. I'm going to submit both of these letters and opinions for the record to the clerk. Today we passed ordinances to begin a road resurfacing program that are going to affect over 600 of our residents in 17 streets. Vesberg Drive, Oakwood, Walnutwood, part of Applewood, Cindy Lane, Gale Drive, Firethorn, Orchard View, Parkgate Oval, Forest Overlook, the remaining portion that hasn't been done yet, part of East Parkway, John Glenn Drive, part of East Dartmoor, Crest Hill, Beacon Hill Court, and Joy Oval. In addition to that, we are going to be conducting a substantial crack sealing program in order to maintain and preserve as many of our streets as possible, at least the ones that are still in decent condition. This is a big deal. This has not happened in many, many years. And one of the greatest things about at least the road resurfacing program, in my opinion, is that typically when we take out notes for something that's substantial, and this is certainly substantial, it takes about 15 years to pay back. And we're very comfortable saying that we very well could pay off these notes in 8, maybe 9 years. And we got to this point because everybody worked together. This council has done a lot over the past year and a half, and our residents trusted us to pass tax levies that not only helped us balance a budget truly, but allowed us to have money in order to pay back debt, new debt that we're taking out. So without our residents and this council, this progress that we're seeing tonight would not happen. And I just can't reiterate how excited I am. And I certainly want to thank Dan Collins and Mark Schmitzer, our engineers, for the work they've already done on this program. I know it's been a lot, and I know we're overwhelming you, but sorry, Dan, there's a lot more to come.
Okay.
So thank you to our residents for allowing us to be able to do this. With that, I am going to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Please call the roll.
Biassiata.
Yes.
Frondor.
Yes.
Kranek.
Yes.
Kukrow.
Yes.
Petro.
Yes.
Traffus.
Yes.
Bicker.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned.
Yes, sir.
Here's some paper for you.
You don't need to swear at me. I don't swear at you. You've said a number of times. You've said a number of times. I said it was true. Signature.
All right, here. That was, easement tax budget. Okay, 94, 95. That's for you. And I'll make a note to take your name off.
Sure, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, yeah, I'm not quite sure I'll be in tomorrow. It's not Wednesday for sure. Oh, no, we'll have it later. We'll have it before that. Yeah. We need a signature on that one page. I think it's the fiscal officer. When the mayor brings it back, why don't I just give it to you? And that we will have it. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. It's one of those
I'm sure there's a lot of claims. You complain a lot.
I think not only should they provide us detail, we're going to have to.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's totally nuts.
Right.
Hi.
He did not, yeah. Oh, the 3/5? No, you don't sign them. No. Still not ready to go on that, though,
About insurance, about insurance, flood insurance.
I can't see a damn thing.
No, because Dan wasn't around.
You're like an actuary on the Yeah, I'm a licensed. Well, you can see that. Okay, cool.
Unless you do. Yeah, you're gonna, that's, yeah. We have to wait for the veto period. He's not gonna veto. How will you act in May?
They bring you here 2 years later. We can take a few more days.
That sounds like a lot.
Someplace we gotta. Now look, Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. No problem.